This video will show you 12 interesting places we recommend you visit in and around Ayia Napa. The numbering of sites is given in random order. So, let's begin. Number 1, Cape Greco. This is a large rocky cape between Ayia Napa and Protaras. The place is attractive because it offers stunning sea views. From a height of 120 meters, you can simultaneously see the coast of Protaras and the coast of Ayia Napa. Feelings are unforgettable. Look down, and you will notice the backs of eagles soaring over the abyss, and even lower, the sea beating against the rocks. All this is very impressive and inspiring.
Many trails pass through the park, one of which is part of the long Mediterranean Trail E4, which stretches from Cyprus to Gibraltar. Walking through these places in spring or autumn, when it's not hot, will give you a lot of pleasure and impressions. Cape Greco can be reached by car, but the final climb, 400 meters long, will have to be walked. However, you will not regret it. It is very beautiful here.
On the neighboring cape, there is an old lighthouse built in the 19th century. Since 1994, no one has lived at the lighthouse, and it works automatically. In the same area, not far from the sea caves, is one of the most photographed trees in Cyprus. This is a 170-year-old Phoenician juniper standing alone in a field. Wedding photo sessions often take place here, which is why it is also called the Tree of Lovers. The lone green juniper crown contrasts brightly with the yellow fields around, especially during the hot summer months. Fibrous bark and bizarre bends of branches are no less interesting. All this attracts people here in search of beauty. Number 3, sea caves. The sandy beaches of Ayia Napa aren't the only claim to fame for this part of Cyprus. Its incredible coastline is dotted with massive, formidable rock formations, often found in natural sea caves and hidden passageways. The Ayia Napa sea caves are a hugely popular spot for diving, snorkeling, and swimming, making this area a perfect thing to add to the list of things to do in Ayia Napa. Cliff jumping is just as popular as swimming and diving. The jump down is about 10 meters, and you will definitely have to face your fears if you're scared of heights. Don't jump if you are inexperienced. You can hit the water hard if the body goes at an angle. Keep in mind, the sea is more solid when there are no waves. According to legend, ancient pirates would hide stolen booty in these caves and use them as hideouts. You can access the caves by both land and sea, with many companies offering transport and boat tours. Number 4, Ayia Napa Monastery has an amazing history of origin. Initially, there was a forest cave in which believers hid the miraculous icon of the Holy Mother of God. Presumably, this happened in the 8th century, when the period of iconoclasm began in the Roman Empire. Hundreds of years later, a hunter accidentally found this icon in an overgrown cave. The icon and the area began to be called Ayia Napa, which can be translated as the Holy Mother of God from the forest. Over time, the name was simplified to Ayia Napa. The first written mention of the name Ayia Napa dates back to 1365 when a temple was laid over the cave. A century later, the Venetians found a monastery here. In the 16th century, the monastery was expanded with the money of a rich Venetian woman from Famagusta, who became a nun against her father's will, who forbade her to marry a commoner. Curiously, this Venetian was undoubtedly familiar with the prototypes of Shakespeare's Othello and Desdemona, since they lived in Famagusta at the same time. present, the reconstruction of the monastery is being completed, and we hope that it will be opened for tourists soon. A giant tree grows near the monastery, which is worth paying attention to. It was planted here at the same time as the construction of the monastery in the 15th century, since the age of the tree is 600 years. It is often referred to as the Sycamore Tree. This name was previously applied to several types of trees with similar leaf shapes. However, this tree is not sycamore and not figs, but another kind of related ficus. And it doesn't matter, because the main impression is still its size and age. Number 5. Love Bridge. Love Bridge is a very beautiful and one of the most romantic places in all of Cyprus, a visit to which has become a good tradition for newlyweds and couples in love. People come here to admire the beautiful seascape and take photos. The Bridge of Lovers becomes especially charming at sunset. This place should not be confused with the Stone Arch, which is located behind Cape Greco. See the links in the description. Cliff jumping is extremely dangerous here. The sea is shallow and there are many sharp rocks at the bottom. But if the desire for thrills remains unsatisfied, then experienced swimmers do cliff jumping at the sea caves. A visit to all these places is included in the program of sea cruises in Ayia Napa. Number 6. Blue Lagoon. As you see, the Blue Lagoon of Ayia Napa is a rocky bay with a sandy bottom and very clear water. This is a great place for those who want to swim in the purest water and enjoy the bright colors of the azure sea. Usually, they get here by boat from Ayia Napa or Protaras, but you can also get there by car. However, instead of a sandy beach, you will only find sharp rocks all around, so it's unlikely to be comfortable lying on the shore. But you can go into the water on the steps and enjoy swimming. But, in our opinion, a boat trip will give more impressions, because in addition to swimming, you will also get a sea cruise along the quaint rocky coasts of Cyprus and the picturesque Cape Greco. Well, swimming from a boat is more convenient than entering the sea from the shore on slippery stones. If you choose a large boat for the cruise, you can jump from it into the water. It is very funny. A beautiful place, ideal for swimming and snorkeling. Number 7. Museum. What interesting facts will the Ayia Napa Museum tell us? So, for example, did you know that another 10,000 years BC, hippos and elephants lived in Cyprus? It is believed that they crossed to the island from Africa about 6 million years ago. When the ancient straits between the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean disappeared and the sea began to dry up. At this time, many islands connected with the continent. You see that Cyprus was also connected to Asia and Africa. Therefore, the animals calmly passed to the island along the bottom of the sea. Such shallowing lasted about 1 million years, until the Strait of Gibraltar appeared and the sea filled up again, leaving African animals on the islands. The museum's central exhibit is an exact copy of a Greek merchant ship sunk by pirates in the 4th century BC near Kyrenia. The original vessel, raised from the bottom, is exhibited in the Kyrenia fortress in the northern part of Cyprus. This is the only surviving ship of that time in the world. The pirates took all the goods and money from the vessel, leaving only empty amphoras, cauldrons, and other rubbish, which became valuable finds for scientists. Pay particular attention to the papyrus boat, Paparella. On such rafts, people made sea voyages in the eastern Mediterranean 15,000 years ago. The boat was built using stone tools and was powered by 4 rowers, as the sail had not yet been invented at that time. Therefore, the speed of movement was only 20 kilometers per day, and the journey from island to island took 7-10 days. Surprisingly, people had sea communication long before the emergence of the first states. Then the museum tells about something quite amazing. Let's take a look at the island from a height of 30 kilometers. You see a mountain range in the north of the island called the Kyrenia Mountains. It's not just mountains. This is the edge of the Eurasian tectonic plate that has come out of the ground. 90 million years ago, there was a sea here. Due to the approach of the African plate to the Eurasian one, in the space between them at the bottom of the sea, the Troodos volcano was formed, which gradually erupted underwater and filled the bottom with lava. The plates continued to converge, and the African plate began to sink under the volcano, pushing it up, because of which Troodos first formed a small island. Under the onslaught of the African plate, the edge of the Eurasian plate bent up and went out along with the surrounding seabed. We are now observing this region in the form of the Kyrenia mountain range, strewn from above with layers of the former seabed. And it's incredible. Thus, in the space between the two plates, Cyprus appeared. In the form of a mixture of an underwater volcano, the edge of a tectonic plate, and a rising seabed. The museum has a detailed stand about it. Is it possible that the edge of a tectonic plate would stick out of the ground? Tell who knows about similar facts. Number 8. Water Park. Waterworld is an ancient Greek-themed water park located in Ayia Napa. Its theme is the gods of ancient Greece and the heroes of ancient legends. All attractions of the water park bear the names of the legendary heroes and gods of Olympus, and are stylized according to some famous mythical events associated with them. The fall of Icarus, labors of Heracles, the Trojan horse and Minotaur's labyrinth, Poseidon, Aphrodite, Aeolus, and Odysseus. These and many other characters served as a source of ideas for the design of the water park. Before the construction of the Fossuri Water Park in Limassol, it was the largest water park in Cyprus, but here you will find slides that are not found in Limassol. The design of the park is complemented by scenery that is impressive in its scale, such as the ancient ruins, antique statues, columns, and fountains, which give the rest the atmosphere of a real ancient Greek adventure. Now we see a new kamikaze slide called Thunderbolt. This ride is definitely not for the faint-hearted. Number 9. Agia Thekla Temple. This is a beautiful white church standing on the shores of the Blue Sea. Tourists come here to contemplate the beauty of this place. In the white arches of the temple, you can take beautiful photos against the background of the Blue Sea expanse and the sky. Nearby is a beautiful beach with stunning white sand. If you arrive at sunset, then you can immediately dine in a restaurant with a playground. An underground cave temple was found in the same area. It probably used to be an ancient tomb and was converted into a church during the Byzantine period. Saint Thekla was a disciple of the Apostle Paul. She was thrown to be eaten by wild animals, but they obediently lay down at the feet of the maiden. The astonished ruler released the saint, after she settled in the Syrian desert, healing the sick and performing miracles. Now, Thekla's relics are stored in a monastery not far from Larnaca. The Ayia Napa Aqueduct is one of the most important surviving monuments in the city. It was originally built by the Romans. In the Middle Ages, when the construction of the monastery began, the aqueduct was reconstructed and lengthened. It supplied water to the monastery and the entire region for hundreds of years. The high arch in the wall was intended for the flow of the river, which the water pipeline crossed in this place. The aqueduct had stone reservoirs at 2 points along its route for settling heavy impurities. At the same time, these intercepting tanks contributed to the smooth flow of water at the beginning of each turn. Reaching the monastery of Ayia Napa, the water exited there through a boar's head carved in marble. Another pipe diverted water to a fountain in the center of the courtyard. The length of the trail along the aqueduct is 400 meters. perfect distance for walking early in the morning or in the evening. The aqueduct was active until the end of the 19th century, which is confirmed by old photographs of women drawing water from the monastery fountain. Number 10. Stone Arch. Kamara to Koraka is an amazing stone bridge created by nature, translated from Greek as throw arch or stone arch. The arch was formed after a complete collapse of the cave ceiling several thousand years ago. Its peculiarity lies in the almost symmetrical sides of the vault, which is a rarity for nature. There is a belief that promises a happy life for a couple of lovers who dared to cross the bridge holding hands. Therefore, the arch is often called the Love Bridge, which is actually located in a different place. See location links in the description. There is also a legend that the bridge will collapse under the biggest sinner who walks on it, because of what the arch is also called the Bridge of Sinners. Now Kamara to Koraka is under the threat of destruction, so it is fenced off, and passage through it is prohibited. The arch is included in the list of the 10 most beautiful natural bridges that may soon disappear from the face of the earth. Number 11. Sculpture Park. The sculpture park is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. A public park scattered haphazardly with an array of statues, sculptures, and art installations. This spot is atop a cliff, making the view out over the sea a wonderful backdrop for photos, especially if you stand within the huge square sculpture, perfect for Instagram. The park has only been open since 2014, making it an anomaly among the ancient structures usually found in Cyprus. Sculptors from all over the world contributed to the museum, with no shortage of artwork to look at. The total length of all trails in the park is about 2.5 kilometers. Therefore, it can be walked all over in 30 minutes in not hot weather. Number 12. Agios Epiphanios Temple. This picturesque temple stands on a hill with a beautiful view of the sea. Despite the ancient appearance, the church was built in 2006 and is dedicated to Saint Epiphanius, who was the Archbishop of Cyprus at the time of the adoption of Christianity by the Roman Empire. Against the background of these stone arches, very beautiful photographs are obtained. Nearby is a cave where Saint Epiphanius lived in the 4th century, already an archbishop. Fragments of his cell have been preserved, over which a small chapel with a transparent floor was erected. Saint Epiphanius was a Phoenician who was educated in the home of a wealthy Jew and first converted to Judaism. He converted to the Christian faith when he saw a monk giving his clothes to a beggar. Struck by such mercy, Epiphanius was baptized, distributed the inheritance he received to the poor, and left for Palestine, where he became a monk and received the gift of miracles for his exploits. In the year 367, Saint Epiphanius was sent to Cyprus and elected Archbishop of the entire island. The saint ruled the Cypriot church with love, mercy, and simplicity of disposition, as evidenced by his modest life in this cell. Subscribe to the channel. Here you will find a lot of useful, informative, and beautiful videos about the beaches, hotels, and sights of Cyprus. Have a good holiday, everyone!